Welcome to Roclara. Today we're going to be covering the Class 7 Chapter 1 of CBSE, which is integers. We're going to try to finish this as quickly as possible. So the first property is closure property. And the closure property says that any integer, when added to any other integer, is going to give you an integer. So any integer, if you take -3 plus 1, you're going to get -2, which is also an integer. So any two integers, when added, are going to give you another integer. So that is what the closure property says. So let's see if we can figure this out with one negative and one positive. So let's take this example for now. So we have -3 plus 1. So that means we are starting at -3. And we're going to, since it's plus 1, we're going to move forward one position. So one position forward, and hence we're going to get -2. So that is how you're going to get your closure property. And you can kind of figure this out with negative numbers, positive numbers. It doesn't matter, you're going to get it the same. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, which is the commutative property. Let's go ahead and get this moved here. The basic commutative property says that any integer that you add, let's say 12 plus 6, you're going to be getting the same answer if you switch places, which is 6 plus 12. So 12 plus 6 is going to be equal to 6 plus 12. Both are going to add up to 18. So you have 12 plus 6 becoming 18, and then 6 plus 12 becoming 18 as well. We can do this with, let's say, any other negative or positive number. So let's say -5 plus 6 is going to get you 1. Let's do a switcheroo here, and let's see if we can get a similar answer. So it's going to be 6 plus -5, which means you're going to be from 6, and since it's -5, you're going to reverse or go back 5 positions. So you have 1 position, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And hence, you're going to be here at 1 plus 1. So you're going to get a similar answer here and here, and hence your commutative property works. So that is your commutative property. It can work in negative, it can work between negative numbers, it can work between positive numbers, it can also work between positive and negative numbers. So let's go on and check the associative property. So for commutative property, you had a plus b is equals to b plus a. That means any number added to any other number can be equal to that second number added to the first number. And associative property is going to be similar to this. And let's see how similar that is. So instead of 2 numbers, we're going to take a property with 3 numbers. So we have one number plus a second number plus a third number, but this time we are going to separate the last 2 numbers and do a switcheroo again. Take the first 2 numbers, separate them, and then add the last number. You're taking the first number and then adding to the sum of the last 2 numbers. And over here, you're switching it around, taking first 2 numbers first, adding them first, and then adding your third number. So let's see if this works with your positive, negative, and positive plus negative. So let's see. We have -2 plus 6 plus 1. So this is a combination of a negative number and a positive number and another positive number. Let's see if it's going to be same. The associative property will say that a plus b plus c. Now a plus b, that is -2 plus 6, will be taken separately, and then 1 will be added, which is the last number, added separately later. So we're going to get this answer as -2. 6 plus 1 is 7. So we're going to get 5. With this one, -2 plus 6 is going to get you 4 plus 1. So you're going to get 4 plus 1, 5. And over here, you got 5 as well. Hence, you have an associative property with positive and negative numbers mixed. It'll be similar to negative numbers only. So let's go ahead and try to fix that here. Let's take -2 plus -3 plus -1. We're taking these three numbers. As the associative property says, I'm going to write it here, which is going to be A plus B plus C is equals to A plus B plus C. This is your associative property. This is your, as we checked above. So according to the associative property, we have first number plus whole of second and third numbers. Now we're going to take first two numbers, which is -2 plus -3 together. And then we're going to add the last number, which is -1. So let's solve for this one. We're going to get -2. -3 plus -1 is going to give you, since you're going back a position, you're going to get -4. And over here, you're going to get -2 plus -3. So going 3 steps back, you're going to get -5 plus -1. So for this one, you're going to get -6. And for this one as well, you're going to get -6. So therefore, for negative problems as well, negative terms as well, you're going to get a similar answer. So that is your associative property. It's going to be similar for all terms being positive. You're going to get a similar answer. So let's go on and check the additive identity. So the additive identity states that you have any number, any integer, let's say -1, or let's say 100, or let's say 200, or let's say a -256. So these are kind of big numbers. If you add 0 to them, they're going to be the same. That means the answer is going to be itself. Any number that is being added to 0 is going to result in itself. So any number which is being added to 0, you're going to get itself over here. So that is your additive identity. Additive identity. Now let's check about multiplicative identity. This is supposed to be coming in later, but it's a similar concept. The identity over here states that you should be getting the same number which is being operated on. So here you have -1 being operated on with adding 0, and then you get the same number as the answer. Or here, let's check what can we do, or what can we multiply any number with to get itself. So that would be -1 into something should result in -1 again. And you should guess 1. So the multiplicative identity states that any number, any integer, when multiplied with 1 will result in itself. So you have 200 multiplied with 1, you're going to get 200 again. Let's say 256 multiplied with 1, you're going to get 256 minus 2014 into 1 is going to result in -2014. So that is your multiplicative identity. So let's talk about multiplication of integers. So before that, I want to talk about multiplication of positive and negative signs. Because we'll be multiplying positive integers and negative integers, we have to figure out a couple of rules. So right here, there are a couple rules. the rules are positive into positive is equals to positive, positive into negative is equals to negative, negative into negative is equals to positive, and negative into positive is equals to negative. So what does this mean? Let's check. So this means that any positive number when multiplied with another positive number is going to result in another positive number. With this second rule, you have, this is the first rule. The second rule, you'll get positive into negative, right? So you have positive into negative, a positive integer multiplied with a negative integer is going to result in another negative integer. So therefore, with the third rule, you're going to get minus or negative integer when multiplied with another negative integer is going to result in a positive integer. With the fourth rule, you're going to get a negative integer into a positive integer is going to result in a negative integer. So you need to realize that unless both numbers have same signs, they will always be negative. So unless you have same signs on both the numbers during multiplication, they will always result in a negative. So that is the concept and those are the rules. So let's figure out what the multiplication of integers looks like. So let's take minus 2 into 4. We have a negative into a positive. There's a negative sign and there's a positive. When there's no sign over here, that means it's a positive. So when there's a negative sign, it's a negative. When there's no sign or a plus sign, it's a positive. So you have a negative sign over here and a positive sign over here. Therefore, you don't have same signs. Hence, the answer is going to be negative. And now multiply it as usual. 4 into 2 is 8. So that is your answer. Let's check another example. 4 into 3 is a negative and a positive. Therefore, you'll get negative 12. Now let's check a negative into a negative, negative and a negative. Therefore, your answer is positive. 3 into 2 is 6. That is your answer. Positive 6. So unless you have both the signs same, so any 3 into 1, you'll get 3, positive and positive. 3 into minus 1 is equals to minus 3. Or let's take minus 3 into 1 is equals to minus 3. Why? Because a negative and a positive is getting a negative. Now here a positive and a negative, which is your fourth, not fourth, the second rule over here. Here you have a second rule where positive into negative is going to get you a negative. Positive into negative. Over here, positive into negative is going to give you a negative. That is how you do your multiplication of integers. Let's talk about a small concept, which is closure under multiplication. That means you have integers multiplied with integers resulting in other integers. So you have any number a into b will get c, where all are your integers. So you have a into b. Let's take a as 6, b as, we're taking into, so let's take into here. So a into b, take b as, let's say 2. We're going to get 6 into 2 because a is 6, b is 2. 6 into 2 is 12. Is this an integer? Yes. Are these two integers? Yes. So hence you have integer into integer will result in another integer. That is your closure under multiplication. Now let's talk about commutativity of multiplication. When it comes to commutativity, that means you have a commutation, which means if you check above, we had a commutativity for your addition, right? You had associative property for your addition and a commutative property for your addition. So similarly, for commutative property of your multiplication, it's going to be the same. That means any sort of a number. So that means minus 21 into 4 will result in the switch of positions as well. So 4 into minus 21 is going to be the same as 21 into 4, minus 21 into 4. So we have minus and plus. So hence your resultant is going to be minus. Let's check here. 21 into 4. So 4 ones are 4. 4 twos are 8. Hence the answer is minus 84 because you have 1 minus and 1 plus. Similarly, you have a plus and a minus. Hence the answer is also going to be minus. 4 into 21 is also going to result in 4 ones are 4. 4 twos are 8. So 84. Therefore, you have the commutativity, which is relevant in multiplication. That is your commutative property in your multiplication. Any number, let's say A into B is equals to B into A. This is your commutative property for multiplication. Now let's talk about multiplication by 0. This is basically a rule. That means any number, no matter how big, no matter how small, multiplied with 0 will always result in 0. So you have minus 21 into 0, giving you 0, right? Minus 3, 4, 6, 7, 1, 9 into 0 is going to result in 0. Any positive number, 4, 5, 6, 8 into 0 is going to result in a 0 again, right? Any huge number, any small number, 1 into 0 is going to result in 0. So 0 multiplied by 0 is also 0. So any number, any integer, when multiplied with 0, will result in 0. So the formula for this is going to be a into 0. A as any number will result in 0. So that is your multiplication with 0 or by 0. Let's talk about the associativity of multiplication. So when it comes to associativity or the associative property, you know that we need 3 numbers. Let's say any number A into B into C, which is grouped together, will always be equal to A into B, which is first 2 numbers grouped together, with C multiplied last. So you have any number, let's say minus 2 into minus 1 into 5, right? This is in a big bracket, should be equal to minus 2 into minus 1 in a big bracket being multiplied last with the last number, which is 5. So let's see if this works. We have minus 2 into 5 into minus 1, negative, negative and positive, hence your answer will be negative, positive, and negative, hence you have a negative, and 5 into 1 is 5. Now let's check the other one. You have, let's check, minus 2 into minus 1, minus into minus is plus. Both are same, so you'll get plus 2 into 1 is 2 into 5, which is the last number. So you have over here, let's check, minus and minus both are same, they are same signs, hence your answer will be positive, right? Positive. 5 into 2 is 10. Over here you have both are positive, 5 into 2 is 10. Hence, you have your associativity for multiplication satisfied, right? So associative property satisfied, right? Let's go ahead and check for the next property. We have the distributive property, which is different, and I'll tell you why. Distributive property over here is going to be applied for multiplication and addition. So you have a sort of multiplication being done on something which is being added. So you have a multiplication, let's check that, is going to be a into b plus c, which are three different numbers, will not result in a into b plus c, right? A into b plus c. No, this is wrong, because you have a distribution done on two different numbers. I'll tell you why. We have a multiplication sign outside, but inside you have a plus sign. Previously, we all had multiplication sign outside as well as inside. Hence, you were able to do your associative property. But in distributive property, we have a multiplication outside and an addition, or maybe even a subtraction, will result in sort of a same output. So let's check why. Okay, so the answer to this question is going to be a into b plus a into c. So when you are having a multiplier outside, you're going to multiply it with both the terms which are inside and add them, right? You're going to add them after multiplying the same number which is outside the bracket with each of the numbers which is inside the bracket. So let's check what's going to happen with an example. So you have 2 into 5 plus 3. So let's see which one's going to be correct. Is 2 into 5 plus 3 going to be correct? Is it correct? Or 2 into 5 plus 2 into 3 be correct? Let's check it out. So you have sort of a difference when compared to your associative property. Distributive property is when you have a plus and a multiplier, or a multiplication function. Let's see, you have 2 into 5 plus 3. Let's check the first one. Let's change the color here. The first one is going to be 2 into 5, which is 10, plus 3 is going to be 13, right? This is the actual one which is being said, which is 2 into 5 plus 2 into 3, which is 2 being the multiplier. It is being multiplied with each of the numbers, and then each of them are being added, right? The 2 is being distributed among the numbers which are inside the bracket. So you have 2 into 5, which is 10, and you have plus 2 into 3, which is 6, and 16 is the answer, right? You have 10 plus 3, which is 13 over here, and 10 plus 6, which is 16 over here. Let's see which one is correct, right? Let's directly add these inside the bracket. 2 into 5 plus 3, 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 into 2 will result in 16. Hence, this is how you do your distributive property. So anytime you have a multiplier outside, you do 2 into 5, right? First you multiply 2 with 5, and then you multiply 2 with 3, 2 into 3, and then you add both of them. What is over here? Addition. Hence you'll add. If there is a negative sign or a minus, you're going to minus both of them over here. So for example, the question instead was 2 into 5 minus 3. Then you're going to get 2 into 5 as usual, because you have to multiply or distribute 2 among the terms inside. or the numbers inside. 2 into 5 for the first term, and then 2 into 3 on the second term. And since there's minus over here, you're going to minus. That is going to be your correct answer. So if you want to check it, 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 into 2 is 4. Let's check over here. 5 into 2, which is 10. Then 3 into 2, which is 6. 10 minus 6, you're getting 4. Hence, you have the distributive property only when you have a multiplication and a division. So let's check the other topics. I think there are 2 more. Yeah, there are 2 more topics, and that is the end of the session. So let's check division of integers over here. Division of integers, you have to know it is kind of having the same rules. You have minus divided by minus. I think this is not that good to understand, so I will switch how I put division. So minus divided by minus is going to be plus. 2 same signs are going to result in a plus. So plus divided by plus is going to be plus. So 2 same signs, just like your multiplication. Minus divided by minus is going to be plus. Plus divided by plus is going to be plus. So that means you have minus divided by plus being minus and plus divided by minus being minus. Therefore, again, similar signs is equal to positive. Over here, different signs will get you a negative. Therefore, let's check division of integers. Let's take minus 6 by 2. We have a negative sign and a positive sign because there's no sign. Therefore, the answer is going to be negative. Now do 6 divided by 2. You're going to get 3, right? 2 ones are 2. 2 threes are 6. So minus 3. Now let's take minus 10 divided by minus 5. You're going to get, since both are same signs over here, minus and minus, you're going to get a positive sign. And 5 divided by 10 divided by 5, you get 2. You get 2. Positive 2. 5 ones are 5. 5 twos are 10. Right? Let's go check for 2 positive ones. Basically, let's take 4 divided by 2. You're going to get positive and positive same signs, hence positive. Therefore, you have 2 twos are 4. Therefore, 2 twos are 4. 2 ones are 2. Therefore, you have, according to these rules, you have your signs. And division is according to normal division. I hope this is clear to you. Let's check the last concept, which I think I just told you about. Positive and negative during division. Positive divided by positive is positive. Negative divided by negative. Negative divided by negative here is going to be positive. And then negative divided by positive. Positive is going to be negative. And then positive divided by negative is going to be negative. So these are your plus and minus, or positive and negative during division. And so I hope you understand all the topics that are important for your first chapter. I hope you understood everything. If you have any doubts, just comment in the comment section and I will clear it to the best of my ability. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.